Once again, this is Ray Schillaci with themovieguys.net, and I'm here at the Santa Clarita International Film Festival. And I'm lucky to have Assemblywoman Suzette Valladares. Welcome, Suzette.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about the film festival and about the opportunity to connect with you and your viewers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, not only you're the Assemblywoman, but you are the Vice Chair of Arts and Entertainment. So that's...
Yes. So I am the Vice Chair. So before I came to the State Assembly, I'm newly elected. I was elected this year. I ran a nonprofit preschool, and my background has been in early childhood education and special needs advocacy.
Good for you.
But I am now the Vice Chair on Arts, Entertainment, Sports, Tourism, and Internet Media. That is a long title.
That is a long title, but what a lot of people are going to remember is that you're responsible for reopening the theater and the parks after COVID. And not after COVID, we still have COVID, but look, what an incredible, daunting task that was, really.
Yeah, it was, as I mentioned, I didn't mention, I'm a SoCal native. I was born in San Fernando, born in Granada Hills, raised in Silmar. My first job was at Six Flags Magic Mountain though. And
really?
I was there. It wasn't a summer job for me though. I was there for 8 years. So when I came into the assembly, I had no idea that having worked at the park for 8 years, understanding like thoroughly how it operates, that would become so vital for reopening our theme parks and other entertainment venues across California. When I got into the assembly, I was elected and sworn in last year. Theme parks, theaters, movie theaters, music venues had been closed for nearly 9 months, and they had no guidelines for reopening. So one of the first things I did as vice chair is I talked with my chair, and he said, we got to get these parks open. And we introduced a bill, which was Assembly Bill 420, no laughing at the funness of the number. It was appropriate, I guess, right? For fun, maybe. And it essentially had guidelines for reopening for theme parks and other entertainment venues. And it became the catalyst for reopening theme parks, museums, theaters. So it was a really big win, not just for me as a new assembly members, but for our community.
Yes. And it's amazing because the moment Regal Edwards opened, I mean, they have these rules, and they're remaining very steadfast in them, and nobody's getting away with going in without a mask. It's very good. What I find interesting in the restaurants, or a lot of the restaurants, they're asking for your vaccination card, and I wasn't sure if that was going to happen with the theaters. Do you know if that's going to happen?
So a lot of our guidelines here in Los Angeles County are actually coming from LA County Public Health Department, and specifically Barbara Ferrer and our LA County Board of Supervisors. We seem to be, first in a lot of the mandates, such as needing a vaccine passport or showing your card to enter certain venues. I'm not sure if that has been enacted in theaters, but my office will definitely find out for you.
Yeah, I'm just curious because now that it seems like COVID's been rising in certain areas. So it's becoming alarming. And I find it very interesting that people who I know personally who would not get the vaccination, and suddenly they're running out to get it because they're seeing what's happening to other people. So especially in Central California. So
I am fully vaccinated. I can't wait to get my booster. I get the flu shot every year too. I don't like being sick. I worked with kids before, and I love kids, but they're pretty gross and they're little walking germ, infestations. So I am very much pro-vaccine. And you're absolutely right. What we do know about the vaccine is whether or not people choose to get the vaccine is that it is effective in keeping you alive. You could still get COVID, but it most likely won't be as severe, and definitely you have really good odds of surviving, which is important.
Yes. And you're right about what you said about the little kids, because my wife works for Burbank Unified and she's a nurse, and boy, the stories I could tell you, every little cough right then. But she's also doing all the contact tracing and such. So God love her. She comes home every day exhausted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I mean, the idea that we can go back into a movie theater is exciting. I don't see them even half full yet, but part of me says that's okay, because I prefer to go, like if I'm going to go, I go to a morning show. There aren't a lot of people in a morning show. So
I love the theater. I have a 4-year-old daughter. And what was kind of sad is she's 4, she'll be 5 in April. I took her to her very first movie this past summer. We saw The Addams Family.
Okay.
Actually a couple of months ago. And she had never been in a movie theater before, because she was about 2.5 right before the pandemic hit. She turned 3 during the pandemic, 4 during the pandemic.
Wow. And
she just wasn't, old enough to go to a movie theater. So I have been so excited to get back into theaters, because it's like an American pastime and rite of passage, right? To go to the theater.
You're right. Let me ask you this. I'm very curious. Do you happen to remember the very first movie you might have seen in a movie theater?
Ooh, yes, kind of.
Okay.
So I remember the very first movie I saw in a theater because my mom had a story about it. So I apparently was about 3 years old, and I saw Cinderella in the movie theater. And I went with my mom and her friends. And my mom's friend leaned over and said, "Hey, isn't the evil stepmother horrible?" And I leaned over and I said, "Just like my mommy." And my mom was heartbroken.
That is so great. That's so funny. You and I both, our first movie that we remember is Disney, because for me, I remember seeing Pinocchio. That was my first. Yes.
Oh man, was that scary? I remember the donkey scaring me when I first saw Pinocchio.
I think for me, the scariest thing was the whale. Mm-hmm. And I remember, you probably are too young to know this theater. There was a theater called the Cornell Theater in Burbank, and the ceiling was stars and clouds. And I remember I was so impressed with that, going in and looking up at the ceiling, and I'd never seen anything like it. And you know what? The theaters today are amazing, but nothing really matches some of those great old theaters like the Chinese or even the Egyptian, which is wonderful, which is kind of, I think it's independent now. But movie theaters experience, a comedy is funnier, a drama is much heavier. Everything is better in a movie theater, especially when you have your popcorn and your soda.
Oh yeah, you definitely need, your refreshments. And It's funny, the theaters that I remember growing up to, well, first of all, I used to come to the theater in Santa Clarita because it was not as busy as the theaters in the Valley.
I remember.
But what people don't realize, and I joke about this, is I remember when the theater was actually on Cinema Drive, which now it's Cinema Drive, but there's no theater on it.
There's no theater. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yes. It was the only theater, I think, in town. Wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a man. It was like, I don't know, like the Man like 2. I'm joking. It was like there was a few like theaters in there, but yeah, it's not there anymore.
Yeah. No. But what we did get, and which is really cool. Okay, so we got a couple of Regal Edwards, but we also have a Lemley now in Newhall, in Old Town Newhall, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
I did a really brief stints living in Pasadena when I worked at Houston's restaurant as a bartender a long time ago. And they had the Lemleys in Pasadena. And there was a couple of years I was big on foreign films. So we saw quite a few. I saw like the Motorcycle Diaries in there, and quite a other few. Amelie was another one I saw there, which I love.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about this? Now we have this, we're hoping, an annual festival, film festival, international of all things, because we have 105 films from all over the world. We have India, we have Austria. There's a film called Stalking Chernobyl that's amazing. I mean, it blows me away that they got this festival going in so little time. But I'm really jazzed about it, because not only do they have film here, but they also have music, they have comedy. They're making this quite an event. I mean, this is a great thing for the Santa Clarita Valley, is it not?
Well, selfishly, I am excited because I love movies, I love music, and I am going to be excited to go, first of all, so selfishly. But, even as the chair of, I call the chair arts and crafts now because it's so long. So if I refer to it arts and crafts, it's because of my preschool.
Okay.
So as the chair, I've just been digging, actually before I was vice chair, I requested to be on this committee because of how big our growing entertainment industry is in Santa Clarita. From production and, these emerging sound stages. I think we're going to have, over the next decade, we're expecting about 30 new sound stages for movie production in Santa Clarita, right?
Well, and then we have the growth of 10,000 homes that are being built in Santa Clarita as well.
21,000 just in the 5 Points production alone. So I requested to be on the committee just because I understand how vital the entertainment industry is to Santa Clarita and our workforce. And just to have this film here, I think, we are a small community that is so friendly to production and has, the below the line workforce that is amazing. So I think it's phenomenal. It's exciting. It is going to be able to allow us to showcase our rich entertainment culture in Santa Clarita. People don't realize how many, we've been doing this for a while. It's a matter, I'm trying to verify. My husband and my daughter, we just took Christmas pictures at the Iron Horse Bridge off of Magic Mountain Parkway. And I hear that bridge is the real bridge that the Lost Boys were hanging off of. Is that true?
That's right. Yes, that's true. That's true. I remember I took my son there and he was afraid to go on that bridge when he was very young.
No.
Yeah.
He thought there were vampires underneath of it?
No, he was just afraid it was going to fall apart.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's gorgeous, but it does look pretty old. But, from that bridge to... they filmed Blazing Saddles here, which nowadays would be very controversial to make.
You're so right.
Could not do that film nowadays. And then up in Agua Dulce, which is still part of the greater Santa Clarita Valley. I mean, everything from music videos to, I think Star Trek. There's so many. I think, oh my gosh, the Outer Banks did something there. We have some really historic entertainment production monuments here that are amazing.
Well, we also have the regional park, William S. Hart, dedicated to the silent movie star. So
and we have Cal Arts, which was started by Walt Disney himself.
Yes.
I think we have one of the largest film vaults for Disney in the world here in Santa Clarita as well. Yes. People have no idea how intertwined entertainment, production, movie, music is with the fabric of our culture in Santa Clarita. And this film festival is adding to it.
You're so right. My nephew graduated from Cal Arts, and I'll never forget, it was the best graduation I had ever been to. So it was.
Did you get to go on that stage that's just is that where they did the graduation? Or, they did it in the hall?
No. It was like a stage and outside venue. And everything they did was so creative. I went, this is like a normal graduation. This is great.
It's so phenomenal. I did a tour there and they were preparing for their virtual graduation this summer. and they did it. They have this hall in Cal Arts and like where the admin building is, and the acoustics are phenomenal. So they were practicing. It was just stunningly beautiful and gorgeous, and the sound was phenomenal.
Wow, that is great. Yeah, Santa Clarita is amazing for all the filming that goes on here. In fact, the religious epic Ten Commandments was shot out here too.
Yes.
Yes. Charlton
Yes.
Heston. Yes. Just amazing.
We have a lot to be proud of, and then we have a Walk of Fame too in Newhall as well. So, and
yeah,
then
that's dedicated to all the Western stars.
For the younger kids, we have some famous people that, you know, have called Santa Clarita home. For the younger ones, you know, is his name Taylor Lautner from Twilight?
Yes. Yes.
He's from Santa Clarita.
Okay. Okay. And you know, the Power Rangers were shot out here.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I remember the Power Rangers.
Yes. Yes. So that's been shot out here as well.
Okay. I lived in the apartments off of the Promenade Apartments off of Magic Mountain Parkway, and many a nights they shot NCIS there in those apartments. So a lot of TV shows. Netflix has been filming a lot out here. You know, we have an amazing community. It's one of the reasons why this year I fought to make sure we increase the film tax credit so that we could expand access for the below the line minority workforce in the state of California and incentivize production.
God bless you. That is great. We need that. We really, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, you're fine. We do need it. Yeah. There are other states that are being competitive, and California, we can't take for granted.
That's right.
That we are, you know, the heart of the entertainment industry in the world, and we need to continue to be competitive and provide incentives for production to happen here. And I'm committed to that.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Suzette, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you here at the festival.
Likewise, looking forward to it. Congratulations. This is the first of what is going to be many successful international film festivals in Santa Clarita.
Thank you. You take care. And happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.